Yes, so I started the recording. Let's talk about the rendering, and then after we've done it, then you can go ahead and have fun and complete the project. So here is the Rhino model, and this is the rendering. Yeah. They're already proxy, yeah? So let me just open and I'll show it to you. I will save this one. So you see there's some funny shape, but actually it doesn't matter, because once you finish the proxy, they are just there as a placeholder. There's no, it doesn't matter. It look very funny, but the render's fine. So also when you bake it, I'm opening a file, it's really slow. Okay. Oh, very slow, huh? Okay, so so you probably already all know how to bake. When you bake it, you want to control the object through layers. Yeah, so you want to bake into layers that you would remember. You could, you could have a couple of them. For example, here, this one. There's more than one model. Let me delete some of those nonsense. So our computer will get slow because we have, multi-function couple of things in there. Yeah. So for now, there's already a couple of them I baked. If I open, if I bring out my Grasshopper, okay. Okay, very slow. So also, you wanted to move your objects so that they're not overlapping. So let me just.
Professor, you will record this one?
Yes, I'm actually recording. Yeah, I'm actually recording. Okay. Yeah. So, so here is my little arm. Let's move this little arm somewhere so that when we render it, we don't see it. And you also need to select, those are already baked, yeah? They're not a proxy yet, so that's why they're quite big. When I move, it take a while to move it. Okay, I move them somewhere else. So when I open my Grasshopper, they don't overlap, because otherwise you might be baking 5 times out to the same place. I don't know. It's very slow. Where's my Grasshopper? Is it in there or not? Oh, so this is a problem because there's 3 of them. They're not a proxy. That's why it's almost even difficult to move. Okay, now whatever I have, I'm not going to.
Professor, what is this a tutorial for?
This tutorial is on Vayre. Yeah. This tutorial is to finish up Vayre. Oh, it crashed. Yeah, so I have to redo it.
Like fixing the virus? That's what you mean, the form of it?
No, actually, that's just the one that I started to do, but it's actually Vayre that I'm going to do. Finishing rendering, that's the goal for this.
Oh, okay, Vayre, sorry.
Yeah. It is a bit slow because I think it crashed. Okay, yeah. So that's why when you have one baked, you probably want to convert it into a proxy and then play with the proxy onwards. If you have for some of the rendering, I have more than one proxy. When you render it, then that's what you see, is you will see them differently. And when you, for example, this one, yes, yeah. The reason this is a PNG, but the background is showing. The problem with this is probably I forgot to turn off the very light, the dome light, yeah. The dome light should set, sorry, not to turn off, set invisible, because I don't like to see the background. I need a transparent background, kind of like this. Yeah, this is what I wanted, not the one with the background. So let's try it again. And okay, let me open something that's smaller with just one in there. For example, this one. I can open this one, yeah. If I have 3 in there already for my laptop, which is not very fast, is a Mac, it's very difficult even to move. So now, okay, let's do the Grasshopper. I'll just kind of finishing up in case people have questions on baking and converting into a proxy. So that's what, oh, is it? Okay, oh, good, yeah. So open recent, open this March 15. So there's this one, okay, they are different, yeah? So sometimes, for example, this one, there's no arm, so I need to bring in the arm. So let's do this. This orange right here means nothing in it. So set one surface, and I will set this one and wait for it to grow. It will take a while. And be patient, do not touch. Okay, so since the reason that they're very, very long is because I changed this one into a bigger proportion, 4.7. So for example, here, now we should bake. When we bake, okay, we bake 2 things. One is we bake this one. This is the arm. We bake it, we need to know which layer, yeah? I got all of this layer. This one is layer, so it probably would even be better if you have a different color. Okay, so this one I'm going to bake it into layer 5. Remember to group them and say okay. Okay, okay, and the other one, which is the sphere, right here, select and bake it into layer 4. So you need to control this one as layers. If you don't control them into layers, later, once you're done, you can close the grasshopper, and then now there's layer 5, layer 4, and now let's activate our V-Ray. Slow. Okay. So I can probably apply materials to layer 4 and the layer 5. I'll just use one as a metal. I mean, be creative. There's so many different materials in there. I'll use this one. Add to scene, right click and add to scene. And then this one is apply to layers. I'm going to apply to layer 4, which is the bow. Okay. And then another one, I'm going to use emissive. I'm going to use this one or something different. This one. Okay, add it to scene and then apply to layer 5. Okay, so now we have this already applied. So now I'm going to select the whole thing. Go to V-Ray, go to V-Ray object, export to proxy, and not to worry about this, and give it a name. So I'm going to call this okay, so I know because I got a couple of, and then click on export and wait for it to finish. And then you can keep this one as on so that once you've done it, you have you don't have the object, Rhino object is replaced with a mesh. So once you've done that, you can make multiple copies, and then you can also have more than one proxy in your file. For example, if we look at this, yeah, there's more than one proxy. This is one, this is another one. And this one I actually messed around with the layers, so the arms are all different colors. Which if you like, you can also do that, because basically you're controlling, you're applying material using layer rather than select one and select a group. That's if the project is big, it's very difficult. Yeah, so the best way is to apply materials to layers, to different layers. Okay, so now, so this one seemed to be really funny, but don't worry about it. It's going to be fine, yeah? So this one, and for example, this one is a different one, is actually the purple and the red. So layer 1 and the layer 2. So I'm going to, actually, I'm just going to, this one I already applied the material, but this one I haven't. I don't think it matters. You can probably export the proxy with or without. So this one I'm going to give a different name. We have virus 2. So in that case, I have two proxy in the model. And then I have materials, I have a layer 1, which is this arm, layer 2, the center of this one, layer 4, I think it's center of this one, and the layer 5. So I have the layer 3, I don't think there's anything on it. Okay, so we will wait. Okay, so now this one seems to have more mesh. This one has fewer, but doesn't matter. They're going to be fine. So let's make a couple of copies of them. Now you can make a copy, yeah. More copies. Okay, and then we look at this. We're going to find a nice angle, and maybe this. We'll move them up and down. It's probably a good idea. Move them a little closer to the view. Okay, so that's all, no problem. Just do whatever that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so then we will start to render, okay? Activate our V-Ray, and of course, apply materials, yeah? So when we apply material, there's a lot of stuff in there. Oh, I guess there's so many different materials. I'm not so sure what is going on. I may have to come back and
Professor,
yes.
I have a question. Why did you apply material before exporting it as a, what is it called?
That's probably a mistake, because see, after I did all of that, there's too much materials. So let me try to clarify, and we can do this as a test. I should probably not apply material before creating the proxy. Yeah, I should probably first make a proxy and then apply materials. That's probably a mistake. Yeah, because that's why we're having all of these materials that I don't even understand. So how about you all do your own test? I believe, I think I've done this a couple of times, but not to remember very well. You should probably first create a proxy and then apply materials based on your layer. So for example, the LED, this I'm going to apply to layer 1. Yeah, because I know I have something on layer 1. I also have something on layer 2. Okay, this one, apply to layer 2. Okay, there's too many layers. That's the sub material. Okay, so there's other materials. That's not the sub material. There's too many of them. That's the problem. Okay, if that's the case, let me just create 2 more materials. I got really confused. Okay, metal. Okay, this one, add to scene, and water, liquid. Okay, this one.
Professor?
Mm-hmm.
How can we stick the shape to this?
Sorry?
How can we stick the shape to the virus? The arm.
I don't understand what you mean.
Like the shape that we create so we can put it on the surface.
Oh, okay. How about I answer that later, privately? I will finish this and then I will answer you. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let me finish this. I have something on layer 4. Yeah, I'm going to apply to layer 5. So I'll probably apply the wrong materials to it, but doesn't matter. Anyway, I applied the materials to different layers. So now, using layers, yeah. Now let's okay, bring back this, and okay, this is a bit the problem. Okay, let's check our light. We have a Rhino light and nothing else, and you know that we're going to definitely need a we definitely need a very light, at least the dome. Okay, very light dome. Okay, click on it, and it's going to ask. I'm going to use. I have a bit problem here. I'm going to use this. I already have. Okay, so that's fine. The Rhino sun, I don't even mind. I think it's okay to keep it on if we want it a little bright. Okay, let's turn that on. And this one, there's already image. Option, okay, this, remember, check invisible. Because otherwise, I think you will see the Barcelona as the background, which we don't like. That's very important. Sometimes, since I'm teaching you Vary, I'm going to explain a little more. Intensity, you can change the intensity. Shadow, let's see, shadow now. I think here is probably good enough. Okay, so you can create other light. For example, you can create some spotlight to shine on one of them. So kind of like creating a little bit of story. That's fine. Let's do one of them. Okay, and we'll see for example. Okay, this one I'm going to. Okay, do it from here. Pointing it to maybe this one. Yeah, or let's see where I'm pointing to. That's fine, okay. So be creative with light also, because this is your final render. You may want something fun. And this light, for example, I can change the color. I make this one into a pink color, the light. Intensity 30 is probably too much. Let's make a little less. We will see it because it could affect a lot. And penumbra, we would increase the penumbra so that it's not going to be a harsh spotlight. It's going to be smooth transition between light to dark. You pretty much all know about this. If you don't know, you can also play with it. You can change the comb. You can make it a little smaller or a little bigger. Yeah. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, so the light is probably good enough. Okay, now let's take a look on, oh, what, there's something with the material, okay. Emissive, yes, emissive, we can also change the color. You know, in any color, we can, okay, change the color. We can change the intensity. And we can also make this one transparent. So that's an interesting thing. So this one is not only emissive, but also transparent, means if it's something behind it, then you can see it. The transparency is like this. If you see this color as black, then you will not have any transparency. As you move into, if you move into pure white, then everything will disappear. And then if somewhere in between, right here, then you will have emissive as well as transparent. So that's fine, and I don't think the matters. Okay, Chrome. Let's take a look on the Chrome. I don't remember which layer I applied it to. I'm going to apply to layer 5. Okay, layer 5 is white. Actually, I don't know which one. Okay, so the Chrome has something that we can play with it. Diffuse. I don't think we need to replace it with a color, probably no need. But reflection, this is important because we actually reflect something, but we don't have to reflect the environment only. We can also reflect an image. Here is reflecting color, and then the color is set to white. And then if you make it into black, then it's not reflecting anything. But you can also, this is important, you can also, that's where the artwork comes, is, okay, let's go back. This is very important. What's going on? Yeah, so this is very important, is right here, under reflection, you can give it a image. So go and click on bitmap and select an image, which possibly to be this artwork that I'm going to use. But I think I have other images that I think is more fun, because I don't like to reflect the whole thing. I just like to reflect partial of it. So that's the map. Okay, now it should be reflecting the, see, it's reflecting the image I attached it to. I may need to change to a different image because here is a line. Okay, which image is better? I think this one is the one I used. Okay. So we have this one as reflective. Glossiness, you can change, you can make it a little less glossy. That means it's not reflecting as glossy as, you know, you can also increase the one by default is 95. Some of this probably we don't really need it to know. Reflection IOR, I think this one is also high reflective or low reflective, kind of like the glossiness, but in a little bit different fashion, I think. Yeah, so if I reduce, it probably will be less glossy. Yeah, just sort of keep it. So that's that. Refraction is another, under refraction and a lot of material, especially the liquid. If I still have my liquid material, then actually let me bring out another material. So this is about very and quite advanced knowledge about very liquid. For example, this liquid, I think it's in there, but I don't know where. Oh, okay, water is right here. Okay, so water I'm going to apply to layer 1. I don't even know which one is layer 1. Okay, layer 1. Here. Okay, so is this water? Yes, water actually, if we look at the refraction, water is really something refractive. if you put a straw into the water, you will see the straw sort of having a little step. So a lot of material has, I mean, this one refraction probably in terms of water is more important than the chrome. So I'm going to change the fog color under refraction, then you will see it. For example, let's make it, let's not make everything pinkish. Make it red. Okay. And okay, so you will see that that basically changed the color of it. Diffuse, what is this? Okay, that probably doesn't matter. So if I change this color, that's how you change this material, the color. So it's not really changing the diffuse. Even the diffuse is red, okay, for example. Then this is actually very interesting material. It still has the redness to it, but then because the fog color is so blue, so it sort of have a mingling situation. Okay, so another one, let me go back into Chrome, and then I will also show you in terms of the map. Okay, so under all of this, you can also collapse if you have too much of it. Okay, and then under map, under, not this, wait, no, still under this is the map. I need to click on that. Where's my map? No, there's none. I should have a map. No. Under reflection, okay, here I have a map. This texture placement, this is something you probably wanted to know, is you can change the repeat. For example, this is 1 plus 1. You can, if when you render, you realize your map is very big, then you can also change the repeat to make the map a little bit smaller. The more repeat you have, the smaller image you will have actually. And you can also use this as an environment. You can play with it, or otherwise this is just a 2D, which probably will be fine. And this is a good concept to know, because if you, for this type of map, I think I keep it as a 2D rather than environment, but for other map, I may change it to different, you can also rotate this one. That's probably doesn't matter.
So what happens if you change it to environment?
I will show you when I render, when I set the other setting. Yeah, I'll show it to you by then. For this one, I think you probably will lose the color. You will actually lose the pattern. You will just see some kind of a color, kind of like this. Kind of like this image, yeah. You would sort of just see a color of blending color rather than an image. We'll have to test and see it. Okay, that's a good question. And oftentimes I don't remember very well. So, okay, the last thing we'll go to the render panel. Oh, if someone is calling, but I have to. And yeah. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Where are we? Okay, here. Now come back to this setting, okay? If you like, you may want to test the depth of field. You may not want to do it now, because now our laptop is already challenged to its maximum. So the depth of field is when you render something really into detail, and then you sort of want to set so that there was something. This one, okay, this image is rendered with depth of field. So it actually goes blur, so you can focus on something, and then once it has some depth, it would go blurry. But if you are quite advanced with Photoshop, you can actually mimic that. So that's something, if you really like, you can try, but not now, because now probably will for sure crash. You can also change the exposure. It's almost like you're taking a photo. You can, having higher exposure. We're not going to have to play it now. you can also save your frame. There's render output, yeah. You can also save the frame, which then you would see, not that one, this one. Okay, you would see some frames here, and then you would see what you actually render and what you are not rendering. If you check here on the render output, that's that, save frame, if you do that, you will be able to see something that's popping out on the computer screen that shows what you exactly are rendering. And for this project, we don't have to render more than 1,000. And I think our laptop is challenged. So, okay, that's no need. Okay, environment. Background, yes, I have some kind of a background. And let's see, okay, okay, that's the background, that's fine. Let's use a background that I can, this one, by the way, it's no problem because if you save as a PNG, the background may disappear anyway. So it's just sort of for you to see. It's not going to be in first. I'm going to use this background maybe. Just try. Okay, and some of that is very good on reflection. So this, I don't think it matters because if you render and you save it as a PNG, this probably will not show. I think for some other stuff.
So why didn't you use your drawing? When you did, why did you use the forest background?
I'm just going to test and see, and I mean, just to see whether this one works, yeah, so that I don't get confused because I attached also to something else. So if I use this one, if renders pops out, I know that that's the correct button. I'm just testing. Sometimes, yeah, thank you. That's a good question. Okay, so this one we probably don't need. And moving on to the next panel. Here you can actually change to different one. You can use irradiance map. You can test and see what they are. And this one you can also change. And if you really want to render very fast, you can remove this one as a none, you know, so that you don't need the second bounce. So you might render much faster. Light catchy, I think if you increase the size, you probably will have more light. You have more spread of the color, so I'm not going to increase that. I may have a funny rendering because what happened is I have a pinkish light in there. So here, some of this actually do not touch. If this one, ambient occlusion, if you're rendering really, really nice rendering, you actually want to turn this one on. I'm not going to turn it on because I may anytime crush my this one you probably don't want to change because if you turn it on and you modify it, you may not see anything. You might have a very dark background. So this one, turn it off. Okay, so now I'm going to render and you are also going to render and we want to see something by end of today, you know, basically fool around and render something. And then by end of today, before midnight or any time, you know, create one or two nice image so that you feel really proud about it. And then use your, use a little bit of your Photoshop skill. And then, for example, this one, okay, if I change the color, okay, go and adjustment, adjust the hue, make it different. Oh, you know, play with it. Okay, so you know, be creative. So before midnight, then we will conclude, and you would submit one image, and of course you can submit multiple images. Yeah, where you would submit, you would basically using the same place we submitted for midterm. Where is it? In class practice, just submit here. And then basically in your own folder, but for example, yeah, I'm going to create, I'll say, a new folder, I'll say, various. So, yeah, and submit in there. Okay, And I'm
Professor?
going to, yes, do you have any questions? Let me,
Yeah.
yes, let me click
What
on
do we have
render.
to submit?
Hmm?
Is it the artwork or V-Ray for today?
Oh, I hope it's not going to crash. I would cry if it crash because I did all the setting. Um, um, the V-Ray, yes, the V-Ray, one of your final render and also the artwork, both. That's a very good question. Yes. So, for example, when you submit, you can submit. If you like that, you can submit this one as well. This is considered to be the artwork, and the V-Ray is possibly something like this. Yeah. Any other questions?
Question, Professor. I have a problem. In my laptop, the array is not exist, or it's telling me that my license are expired.
Oh,
I don't have a license.
you don't
What
have a
should I do?
license. Let me,
Sama,
yes. What you do
Yeah.
is,
you
actually
have
it
your
happens a
VPN?
lot. What you do is, you can probably activate the license. Where is it? How?
Sama, do you have VPN?
License, yeah. How? And the license?
No.
Yeah. You need to.
Because we're outside university, so we need to always have VPN on. It's like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
We have to download it from internet
Oh, yeah. Oh, my screen is not.
and then log in and keep it open, and then the V-Ray will work.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You need to activate the VPN, and also you can use Zoo. I think when you do the server is VCU, probably VCU Q24. I remember that's the Zoo. If that happens, you can actually call IT. Let IT give you some support. Yeah.
Okay.
My screen is totally off. So I think I have quite a challenge now with my with my rendering. So how about we stop? Any other questions? Yes, I can only hear, but I cannot see anything.
Professor,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't finish, if I finish the artwork but I didn't finish the V-Ray, it's fine for today, or I should finish it?
I would like if you can finish, because we don't
Yeah.
want to drag on, but really the real deadline is by the end of the semester. This is the V-Ray. But try to do it now, because once you are kind of still warm, it's better to finish, you know.
Yeah. And Professor, I want to ask you about something.
Mm-hmm.
You told us in the YouTube video we have to submit 3 Rhino model and record it, right, for the final.
Yes. That's kind of what I did for all of you today. Is you're going to use Zoom to record your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's easier and faster. The only thing is I prefer it to be your own design. It can be inspired by designers here and there, but it would be nice if it's your own design, so that you have the intellectual property.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Professor, is this project a part of the recording sessions? Like, do I have to record myself making the virus part?
No, this is not a part of it. The recording is 3 separate Rhino model.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Professor,
Yes.
so I just want to clarify, what we have to do is make 3 models on Rhino, 3 video tutorials, and 1 V-Ray rendering, right?
No. Yeah, there are 3 models, and the tutorial are together while you do. I mean, you probably want to first model it, because the tutorial is you don't want to pause and don't remember here and there. So you probably create it, and you know how you create it, and then you create a tutorial for everyone else.
So for each tutorial, there's a separate file, right?
Can be the same as the 3 Rhino model. I mean, if you can do it in one go, you can model it and at the same time record your tutorial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything specific for the
No, if something that you can actually use for your studio, that would be excellent. If not, it doesn't have to be very sophisticated. Actually, a lot of time is about the thinking, you know.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
So, Professor, we have to submit today at midnight, yeah?
I prefer you can submit because you're still warm. You got everything, and just a couple of try, you might be done. But the real deadline for this is, of course, by the end of the semester.
Okay.
Yeah, because this counts as vary.
Yeah.
Anything else? I don't even know how to activate my screen. I'm totally black. My laptop is dead.
Oh, I think up. Doesn't it say up close screen? Oh, it is that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, if you really wanted to chit chat with me, I'm still around, and you can send a Zoom invitation, and you invite me, and then we can talk about it separately, individually. I'm around a lot more at home, so you probably realize I keep sending emails because I'm always around. Much more so than so yeah, feel free to send me an invitation so we can take a look on your work.
Okay.
I see.
Professor, are you in America?
Not yet. I plan to go maybe by end of the week. Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet. Still in Doha, but I'm thinking about leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's safer here than there to stay.
Professor,
Uh-huh.
for the tutorials, do we have to speak over them to like explain the steps that we're doing?
Yes, if you can do it that way, that would be easier. I mean, as a tutorial. But if you just record the screen, probably will do. I would prefer you record your voice as well and see how you're doing as a teacher.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So how about we stop now? I need to mess around with my laptop. It's not functioning. It's not rendering and it's not functioning. Ah, I know.
Yeah.
I think.
See you, Professor.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. What's wrong? Oh, okay, no, come back. Okay, great. Bye.